Hey folks, so this is the start of a new series where I review people's towers and give them advice. Now, I'm saying it's advice right now because that's what it is. I'm not saying this is what you should do. It's what I would do if my tower was in your situation. You can take it on the chin and decide to do what you want, or you can take my advice and see how it goes. At the end of the day, I'm just basically doing this as a series because someone asked, so I figured why not get into this sort of content. And I will stress again, it's a case of I'm just giving advice. If you disagree with it, by all means, leave a comment and I'll say justify my rationale behind it. But it is just a case of this is what I would do at the end of the day. So we're starting off with the first image that Kevin sent across. So this is his auto pick perk order. Now, obviously I disagree with this bit. I always put increased max game speed at the top. And that's just because you can only get that once and it's out of the way, and then your run's as fast as it can be. That's my opinion. I know the general consensus is perk wave requirement first, because then you're picking up perks faster throughout the whole thing. So I do understand that. I know you're doing a orb devo strategy. You mentioned that in the comments to me. So, but you're wanting to look at potentially going to glass cannon to do better in your tournaments. Which I do understand that as well. I can get behind that. That's how I felt kind of at the point where you are as well. I can say you can stick with EHP and get up into Legends, so you don't need to go into damage. But if you do want to, I'm going to basically do recommendations for both damage and for health. So the way that I can see here is that you kind of go in for Econ, but then you've got defense so that you can survive longer. From what I understand, that you're doing these for econ, you would be potentially better off putting coins in up here rather than duration and golden tower, but that's my opinion. Ideally, obviously, you want this one for increasing your coins. Like this nets you more. I'd probably say put this up above these because yes, you're going to die quicker with the minus 70% health, but the econ from the increase typically outweighs that, especially with you playing Orb Devo. I think you'll find that that's quite useful. I never played Orb Devo, so I'm not the best to ask on Orb Devo. However, I've looked through the images you sent across and I've got a bit of advice in regards to it. But the main reason I didn't play Orb Devo is because I like to have things on in the background. I don't like to micromanage. I mean, it's an idle game at the end of the day. So the banned perks that you've got is free upgrade chance, which obviously you're going to block that for Orb Devo, so that's understandable. Lifesteal times 2.5 and knockback force minus 70. This one, if you're doing Orb Devo, isn't really that important in my opinion. I'll probably block something else instead, so like block one of the damage ones so that you don't have to pick a damage stat. And obviously always get rid of this one. This one is absolutely awful, so I understand why you've blocked that. The only reason that I say this is because if you're doing Orb Devo, you're stacking them on your tower, so if you're not putting anything into unlocking knockback, it's not going to matter whatsoever having this. Like, you're not using knockback, so getting a minus 70% on nothing is still nothing, so I don't see the point of blocking this. Someone else might be able to explain that to me, but I don't see the point of this one. He's probably better off doing a different one, blocked out of the way with enemy damage so that you can survive for a bit longer. Obviously, you've got your perk wave requirement as your first pick, which is understandable. And then you've got your tournaments here, because you said you're trying to get out of gold and push up to get more stone income and everything. Because, I mean, everyone wants more stone income at the end of the day, right? I mean, you're doing pretty well with your build. I've looked through, you're actually doing pretty damn well with your build. I can see you did actually make it up into platinum once, but got knocked back down. Hopefully after this, I mean, it looks like you just got a really good bracket. But hopefully after this, we'll go through and you'll be able to stay in platinum, because there's a few changes that I'd recommend. But I'm going to go through like EHP recommendations and damage recommendations. So we can see here that you've done a few of your, like you've done your tier 1 and tier 2 completed out of the way. And then you kind of have got up to tier 13, but you haven't unlocked tier 14 yet. So you're doing pretty well here, honestly. One thing that I would say, I mean, you've got tier 5 up to 5,500 here as well, I've just noticed. I would really push these two up so that you get the 4,500, just so you have the milestones completed, and you can get the rewards for them. I'm assuming you're farming tier 5 then, from the looks of it. I had a look at something as well. I would suggest you start using Project Rend or the tower run tracker. But to do that, you need to unlock your more wave stats or more run stats or something. I'll go over that when we come to it. But basically, you need to unlock that so that you can start logging your runs better, so that you can see what your coin per hour on each one is, because then you'll be able to compare and see what is actually the best one for you to run coin per hour wise. Now, looking at this here, you might even be able to get a tier 6 up to 4,500. So I'd definitely look at getting these milestone runs. They're going to help you out. They'll give you some stones, some gems, and it'll give you coins as well. But it might give you some labs that you may not have. I don't know what are in those milestones. I know there's some relics as well that you're missing out on. I can see you're at a lifetime coins of 212 billion, so still relatively small. I know you said you've been seriously playing for about 2 to 3 months. So you're not doing too bad for that, really. So, in fact, your econ, I've had a look, is actually quite impressive. So going into ultimate weapons now. So if you were wanting to go into damage, you already have your chain lightning here, which is amazing. So I would invest into this with your stones. And I would basically go damage first a little bit, and then go into chance, and then quantity. But basically, I'll just kind of bounce between them, getting them up. I would say, safe rule of thumb, people may disagree with me, is your quantity would probably be about double the cost of your damage, and your chance, you only really need it about 15% in my opinion. You want it to be a total of like 30% overall, but I'm saying 15% because of something else that I'm going to go over later, which I think you should really aim for. But one major thing that I want to address here is you've got the econ trio, which is perfect, right? The only thing is I would stop investing in these two, and I would invest in Death Wave cooldown to get that to 3 minutes. I would do that before you even start working on Chain Lightning, because you want these three synced, because their multipliers are multiplicative. So you get 11% from this, and then let's say you get 11 times. Let's say you get 2 times from here and 2 times from here. If they all go off, that's 11 times 2, which is obviously 22, but then that's times 2, so that's 44. If they're not going off at the same time, you've got 22 times bonus, and then 2 times bonus on a few enemies that you kill else at a different time. So try and get these all three synced naturally, because I've seen that you're not using Multiverse Nexus. So get this synced together. That is your main priority for stones from now, in my opinion. And then you can start investing in Chain Lightning if you want. It may be worth having a peek to see what your next ultimate weapon is as well. So when you have a peek, in case you don't know, you just click on it. You see the 3 options, you click anywhere else on the screen, it will not have used up your stones. Unless they change that in version 28 or something. But at this moment in time, that's what you do. So now we've got your workshop. So in general, your workshop looks good. Obviously, you've not put anything into your free ups because you're doing Orb Devo. I would say look at potentially putting a bit into these, but it looks like you have been, so just keep on going. If you are wanting to move over into a damage build, enemy health level skips will be your friend, so you may want to focus on that rather than attack. But if you want to stay EHP, I would say probably EHP is better for you right now, to stick into that, because yes, going into damage may get you more stones, but I feel like you'll get more stones progressing through doing these little things that I'm saying that would help you then get better. Basically, it's a feedback loop. If you can get better in your farming, you can get better in your tournaments, you can get more stones. So yes, I can understand the want to go for damage, and it could work. I mean, it did work for me for a bit, but then I went back into EHP. Thorn damage is obviously at 31% for, again, Orb Devo, and you've got everything devoed that you'd expect, right? As you are already EHP right now at the moment, I would say look at investing into your health regen. Unless you're getting one shot when you die, your health regen is way too low right now. I would push that up. Your defense absolute, obviously, don't need to touch that. You're past tier 1. And then it does this sometimes. I think it's because you've put it into a separate message, haven't you? Right, so yeah, so apologies. Then your attack is quite low, but you did say... Oh, this is something, right? So your range is 31.2. If you want to get it down to 30, you still can. It's a case of, in your lab, on your range lab, you need to click on the range lab, and then it'll let you select go down at the bottom, but you have to do that outside of run, so I can't really show you right now. So with your cards, I think your cards are in a great spot. I would say potentially look at unlocking more cards, especially if you're going to go into damage. I have a few questions, but like you've got really high attack speed, but then you're doing Orb Devo where you're not needing to keep things away from your tower, so I'm not entirely sure what's happening. I know you've got the attack speed card on. I would say if you're going down the defense route, maybe take it off and put like wave skip on instead, maybe make your farming runs a bit quicker. Or you can put in like landmine stun for a bit of better control for the crowd control, or you can put a plasma cannon on so that it does like a chunk of the boss's damage. So when the boss is hitting you, he's not sat on your tower for long. It might get you a few more waves. But yeah, so you've got the cash, you've got the coins. You could even put I was gonna say slow aura, but I don't think it's really needed. Accidentally just clicked out of that, so apologies. Yeah, so I would say your cards don't really need touching right now because there's something else that I don't understand why you haven't got unlocked. You need to save up for, and in fact, I'll just quickly jump to it rather than going through the modules. It's down here somewhere. Here we go. Unlock Lab 5, please. Save up to unlock Lab 5. If you're looking to do this for longer than the next 3 months, unlock Lab 5. It will be a godsend. I've seen how many things that you really want to unlock, so that will help you out, trust me. Now, modules is something that I want to touch on because it is a bit rough that you still only got epics. You need to be pushing up to get legendaries, but get that 5th lab slot first. Potentially max out all your cards as well because I've seen that you're getting close to that now. But I don't like this setup, right? So you've got project funding sat in here, and it's like for your farming runs as well. I know your only other like actual epic is Pulsar Harvester, but project funding is increasing your damage. If you're doing Orb Devo, your damage is not your focus with an EHP build. Pulsar Harvester might be a bit better for that potentially, but that's not where the issue is. The issue I have is your substats. So if this is a farming one, I don't understand what you're doing. You need to have coins bonus so that you can get extra coins, or coins per kill, sorry. So you can get more coins, more econ. I understand the enemy health skips. Cash bonus, I guess it makes sense. It's project funding, right? More damage. And then you've got recovery amount, but you're using... I mean, I know it's probably just because it's the only thing you've got. You're using this one, right? But you don't have a wall. So this is completely pointless for you. This is doing nothing substat-wise. So I'll just have a quick look at this again. You've just got a generic. I mean, it's the same as having a generic one at the end of the day, I guess. I would probably look at pulling some more to try and get something useful. Like, I would say keep pulling until you get something that's more useful. Like, if you get Wormhole Redirector, that would be great for you. Until you can be at the point where you can kind of use the wall. Or if you can't get Wormhole Redirector, just Astral Deliverance. Not Astral Deliverance, sorry. But one of the other armor modules. Just so that it's actually giving you a use out of it. Also, Shockwave Frequency, yes. Lifesteal. Lifesteal is pointless, really. In my opinion, it is pointless. You're better off, especially with the fact that you've blocked the Lifesteal perk. Like, I'd re-roll this, try and get Defense as an epic, and then health as an epic, so you have more health if you're going down the defense route. Obviously keep your Shockwave Frequency, because that kind of helps with managing in Orb Devo. Now that's the modules. Now with your labs, it'll take a while to go through each screenshot, so what I'm going to just say is, as I said, I've gone into the wrong bit. It's these ones that I want to be looking at. You do have range in here somewhere. Oh, it's right here. Okay. I think I went past it, but yeah. So there's a lot of screenshots. So I do apologise. There we go, range. So if you click on your range, you can set that down to 0, so you'd have the 30 meters again. I can see you've got a lot of things in your saved area, but these are all good places to be. Rather than going through all your screenshots, I mean, you can see that. So these gold ones, I would say select these and click on the star to remove them, because you've got hide completed, but they're still there because they're in your favorites. But you've maxed them out. You don't really need them to be there anymore. So you've got some really good things, but you've got things which you seem to have ignored, which I have a few questions about. I can see you're currently working on econ, which is really good, and Death Wave health is a really good increase for your health, as long as you're lasting long enough. And reroll shards, of course, the sooner that you invest in that, the better. I see you got all the packs, which is good. I'm just looking for something specific that I need to go over. If I can find it, bear with me. Here we go, yeah, so it's more round stats. Unlock this as soon as possible. That just gives you a breakdown of what happened in your run, but it also unlocks the copy and paste that you can use for Project Rend, or you can use for the Tower Tracker, online tracker thing, for run trackers. It may be worth you unlocking workshop enhancements as well at this point. I know you're not really up to 1 trillion, but there's still some investments that you can do into it, which might just give you that little bit of an extra boost. Now, I'm going to go through what labs I think you should do, like, sooner rather than later, that I feel will give you more of a buff. I'll do for your health, for like, I'll go over like the next 30 days, let's say, and then what you should focus on for your, if you want to go down damage route. So with health, I would actually say health regen is going to be your friend. I wouldn't continue to ignore that. So I would slot that in, and I mean, it's probably going to be a day to get it to level 8, because yours is currently at level 2. So I'd definitely push that up. Alongside that, for your actual like farming runs, because I can see you're on ×2 speed as well. But for like farming runs, if you want to get them better, I would say push up your standard perk bonus. I'd push this up to probably about level 15 for now. And then also your trade-off perks, I can see you've not touched that. I would say push that up to about level 6. And I'd keep your Death Wave health in. I'd put that up to about 18. I mean, this is taking, or maybe 19. This is going to take you up to like 30 days investment if you're just doing it in that one slot and you're still doing your econ, right? I think doing your econ is worth focusing on. But as I said, because you don't have that multiverse nexus, please try and sync the 3 of them to all pop at the same time. I saw that, I think you've got Golden Bot. I've got to ask you for the image of it, but have a look at trying to sync that. Be careful, because you've got the lab here that you've got it to level 5. Be careful with researching this too far. Try and sync your Golden Bot so it goes off at the same time as well. That'll also increase your econ. So that's what I'd do for like the health labs for the next 30 days if you're just doing like one slot for it. If you're doing multiple slots, you'd want to put your health in as well, because your health is only level 39, so try and get that up. If you're wanting to like focus more on the actual getting better in tournaments, obviously your perks aren't going to do anything, and they're going to take up most of the time over the next 30 days. So I would obviously do Death Wave health, keep health regen in, just slot that for the whole time. And then lastly, a little bit on defense. I would get defense up to 24 in my opinion. Other people kind of disagree on that, but if not, just mainly focus on your health and your Death Wave health. They're the ones that are going to help you out until you can get to the point where you've got the wall. The wall would potentially be useful for you because you've got Sharp Fortitude, but I don't think you'll be able to invest enough in it just now to make it not a detriment, because you need to be leveling up your Death Wave Thorns to about level 6, I think, with having the Sharp Fortitude. But it is a case of that is a bit of an investment. I'd be guessing to try and get to the right point on here. But if you do want to go down the damage route, I'll go over that now. So with damage, it's your choice if you want to use damage per meter. Obviously, with your range not being very far, damage per meter might not be that useful, but it is your lowest stat. It's only level 2, so I might recommend to push that up a bit. If you are going to go down damage as well, it'll be worth upgrading your energy shield extra hit to go into more of a glass cannon build. And then I know you don't have Chronofield, but you will want to be upgrading your shock chance and shock multiplier. This is a massive damage boost for glass cannon, and if you are wanting to, obviously because you have chain lightning, you want to try and pull a dimension core, because that dimension core is going to increase the damage from chain lightning exponentially. If you don't want to use damage per meter, put crit factor in. Your crit factor is only level 7. That is quite low. Your crit factor increases the damage of your ultimate weapons as well, so definitely look at pushing that up. I would say get your crit factor up to like level 37 at the moment. Like, your attack speed is level 66, I think. It's really high. So I don't think that needs touching for now. As I said, shock multiplier and chance, definitely slot them in. And then you can work on your damage as well, because that's only level 22. I wrote a lot of things down so I wasn't having to flick through these to try and find things whilst I was talking. Yeah, your damage per meter is only level 2. There you go. But yeah, so definitely work on those. And then I would also say, just having a look, see what else maybe. Death Wave damage amplifier could potentially go in there, but I would say there's probably better things to invest on. Like, you could start doing your super crit chance and super crit multi maybe. But it's just a case of how many slots you're dedicating in your lab for them. Obviously, you need to get that 5th lab slot so that you have a bit more space. I would also say there's something I noticed that you haven't really worked on. I know it's in here, but whether I'll be able to find it. Like, you've put so much into your lab. I mean, your lab speed is 57, but like, you've put more investment into your lab coins discount. I think it might be a little bit lower, but I feel like it's invested in more than it should have been compared to lab speed. I would say slot your lab speed in until it's like level 80 or at least 75, and then you can give it a break and then only do it when you feel like it may be beneficial to you. But the sooner the lab speed's maxed, the more benefit you get from it. Also, in my opinion, with lab coin discount, because you can't respec labs, that one is actually quite worth doing, because it's going to save you coins in the long run. And then, as I said, kind of work on your chain lightning until like your chain lightning damage it is up to costing I think it's like 2,000 something stones per upgrade. I mean, that's a long time away. That'll be like getting it max, to be fair. But I think chain lightning out of what you've got is definitely the most worth investing. I'd say see if you can get a poison swamp or smart missile, because that will help you out a bit. But yeah, I feel like you do need a couple more pulls on your modules, just so that you can get some modules which are better for use. Because, like, for example, if you could get a G comp in, that would be great for your recon. Or with you doing Orb G comp would probably be your best friend for coin ones. And then you did say about Entourment project funding or Pulsar Harvester. I would say do 2 runs, one with each, see which one does the best. Then I would also say, until you've got that natural sync, a Multiverse Nexus may be okay, but obviously with you only having epics, I wouldn't keep it slotted. I'll just use it until you've got that natural sync, or close to the natural sync, and then keep going for the natural sync of your Econ trilogy of your ultimate weapons. I think Astral Deliverance is your best cannon to stick with, and obviously your Primordial Collapse is your go-to for EHP build. If you want to move over to Glass Cannon build, you will need a Dimension Core. That is going to be your bread and butter for that build. So I think that's everything that I wanted to go over, really. As I said, your Econ was really good. It was just get that sync in, and then just work on... I mean, your coins per kill is insane in your labs. It's already like 50-ish. I might also recommend that maybe you use the effective path sheets. Have a look, see what that recommends you. And I know it takes a while to fill out, but it's definitely worth getting that interest. So yeah, main focuses, would be just like, this is just a recap, right? So stones, get your Death Wave synced as soon as possible with Golden Tower and Black Hole. Chain Lightning, just start investing in that, but I would say Death Wave's more important to get synced with these two. And then get the 5th lab, and only buy cards, I'd say, for the event mission for buying cards. Once you've done that, start pulling your modules. Please, for the love of God, I don't think I can get onto the bit that I want. Where is it? Sorry, yeah. Do your milestone runs, get 4,500 on these two, and potentially on this one if you can. If you can't get anywhere near it, that's fine. I just feel like you should be able to get these two at least. It'll help you out. And then also start using a run tracker so that you can see if tier 5 is the best one that you can be doing, or whether you can push up to tier 6, or if actually tier 4 is better for you coins per hour wise. Also, I just noticed something. Please, for the love of God, check your mail. There should never be a red dot. Check your mail. And then, as I said, for the labs, start focusing on your damage per meter if you do go for a more ranged build at some point. If not, crit factor, shock multiplier, shock chance, and then your damage after you've got those up. So like I'd say crit factor 25 or maybe 24 before you work on your damage. And I'd say shock multiplier and shock chance just leave in till you can get them up to max really. But if you want to slot something else, I'd say super crit chance and multi maybe worth going in there as well. EHP, I would say your standard perks and your improved trade-off perks, definitely put them in for increasing your farming runs. But if you're wanting to just focus on doing better in your tournaments, Death Wave health and your normal health and health regen are the three that you want to focus on. So any questions, just leave a comment, I'll get back to you. I have everything that I need for your build, and just a reminder to anyone else that's made it this long, leave a comment saying review if you want me to actually review yours next. I'll probably do these like maybe once a month or something. We'll see how much interest there is, and then I'll reach out to you, whoever I choose, if there is multiple people, and ask you just to send me, either you can send the screenshots like Kevin has done here, or if you have Project Rend, what you can do is, if you've got it all filled out, and this will make it much easier for myself, is if you go into, I think it's in your dashboard here, copy user data, and it'll tell you where it is, and then you'll be able to send me this file, and then I'll be able to go into imposter mode and use that file to have a look at your stats. Or if you have effective path sheets, you can share your copy of effective path sheets with me and give me access to read it, and I'll be able to have a look through and make some of my own suggestions. Again, just to clarify, this is just suggestions. Play the game how you want to, and I hope this has been useful. I realise it's been half an hour, but it is more of a like reviewing a tower and giving advice on it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao for now.